Hey everybody, Garrison here. Yesterday we opened up the packs that we pre-ordered, and if you watched that video, which was just shy of 10 minutes long, I talked about the fact that I was going to build a mono black deck using Dread Presence. So we made a couple of cards, put together a deck. I intended on recording this and posting this last night, but unfortunately there was an issue while I was recording and I did not get the matches in. So I apologize. There's a slight equipment malfunction. So and I also believe that I had a microphone issue. So I believe we have most of these problems figured out now. But we're going to play DreadShift. So revolving around Dread Presence and Scapeshift. I play Scapeshift in Modern. I've played it in Titan Shift, and then played it in a Teamer Scapeshift. I played it a long time ago, back with I guess what everybody calls it is just Gruul now, but it was just Red Green Scapeshift and Extended when Extended was a format. So anybody who doesn't know what Extended is, if you go back and look at it, it's basically a pre-modern. It's the original modern. So just not all those cards that are there. Some different sets set up for it. So, I guess going over the list. So we have two disfigures. We just wanted some early game removal, being that it's a 1 minute instant, giving creatures -2/2 is amazing for the simple fact that it gets around those indestructible clauses. Sometimes you can also have some interactions with like going to block and disfiguring their guy, shrinking it down, killing their creature, just those sorts of things, stopping some damage if need be. Like if they're attacking to you to try to create spectacle, they have a 2/3, not sure what's out there, but it does just stop that from happening. Also, if you can get their power down to 0. So next we have Knight of Malice. It's a 3 of 2/2 for 2 with First Strike and Hexproof from white. Now, Knight of Malice gets +1/+0 as long as any player controls a white permanent. We will not control a white permanent. At least I don't plan on it with this deck. So, but the 2/2 with First Strike is pretty good. So I really like it. And the fact that it has Hexproof from white gets around to the fairies that are floating around there right now, as well as Sealaways. So it's not horrible. I think it just kind of fits. And we needed a 2-drop slot, so we're very loaded in the 3 and the 4-drop slot. So next we have 4 Seeker Squires. We want to make sure that we hit our lands. We want to play a land every turn. And then, of course, later in the game, Seeker Squires are okay because they do that, or they find us the pieces that we need to combo off and be able to kill our opponent, assuming that they're not at some outrageous life total. So Seeker Squire, I felt like it was one of the first cards that I added to this deck because it does what we need to help us get to our combo pieces. So next we have Midnight Reaper. We're playing a 2. It's a 3/2 for 3. It's not horrible as far as the stat line goes. Not the greatest. But the fact that whenever a non-token creature I control dies, Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card. So us drawing those extra cards is going to be super helpful for us because the simple fact that we want to have a mass of cards, and there's not a ton in black. There is some, and there may be some. I know there may be some better cards, and we may change some things out over the course of the next week. Week and a half now, I guess it is, before we'll be playing our first standard with M20. So, because of course this weekend is pre-release, so we will be doing a pre-release as our FNM. So, then next we have Dreadshade. We're playing a 2 of. I love Dreadshade. Triple black mana cost does make it kind of hard to fit into a lot of decks. We are seeing Chain Whirler being played mono red. It's very good. Dreadshade along that same stat line. It's a 3/3 for 3. Not the greatest, but it does have 1 black. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn. We are playing the Cabal Stronghold, the chromatic black mana base, as Ali Antrazi popularized and has played a lot of decks with. So usually going into a 3, 4, 5 color variant, we're just taking it to a 1.5, I guess. Playing 1 card that's just not black here. So then we have 2 Golden Demise. We wanted a sweeper. We also wanted to just try to hit their side of the board if possible. Early game, it does wreck us, but it is just -2/-2. So we don't have to worry about if we've explored with this. And, it doesn't kill our Dreadshade. But then at the same time, if it happens we have Midnight Reaper out, we kill our own creature, maybe we replace it. Not that big a deal. So we are playing 4 Chromatic Lanterns. It is a chromatic black mana base. So the namesake of that being the Chromatic Lantern, turning all of our lands into producing other colors. So really good for this deck because we need to cast Scapeshift, which is double green. It is just a rock also, so 3 mana adds a mana of any color. It's pretty good. So next we're playing Crucible Worlds, so we do have some utility lands in the deck, which I'll get to a little bit later. They have some functionality, but then again, we are also playing Scapeshift, so if we have a Dread Presence and we Scapeshift away our lands, maybe we only have 5 lands and we can't kill them. Well, Crucible Worlds will allow us to bring back our lands to trigger a Dread Presence additional times if need be. So next we have the Dread Presence itself. 3/3 for 4. Whenever Swamp enters the battlefield under your control, you get to choose one. You draw a card and you lose life, or doing its best Valakut impersonation on a creature. Dread Presence deals 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life. So the interesting part about this is, anybody who knows what Valakut does, if you're familiar with Modern, is that you have to have some specific number of other mountains in play already. So that being said, this does not require that clause. It's just whenever a swamp enters the battlefield. The other thing is, it's not a basic swamp, it is just a swamp. So we're able to play Overgrown Tombs and trigger the Dread Presence if need be. So also being that, so Valakut would deal 3, Dread Presence deals 2, but you gain 2 life. And then also you have an additional choice to draw a card and lose life. Maybe you know the top card of our library will be, and say off of a Seeker Square, we want to draw that card, we could just draw 1. And not have it deal the 2 if the 2 damage from that 1 land drop is not that relevant. So a little bit of versatility, I think, and a 3/3 is okay. So next we have Ravenous Chupacabra. We want to be able to kill some things, but we didn't want to run the actual hard removal. So, and we also wanted something that could kind of beat in there. We needed some more creatures. We're a little light on that, just in case we have to switch from the combo side and go into the aggro side of things. So Ravenous Chupacabra fills that role. Everybody knows what it is. It's been around for quite a while, but it works very well with Midnight Reaper. So if you get to kill something and then they kill it, you get to draw a card. Not that bad. Leyline Void. Not 100% sure that this is going to stay in the main deck, but it is really good. So it's good against those things that are trying to recur things from the graveyard. Your Phoenix decks are really good at that, and they start to just go off. The other thing to think about is that so Search for Azcanta hasn't been played a whole ton as of lately, but it is still a relevant card. So if the control deck can flip the Azcanta, they can find whatever piece it is they need. Playing Leyline Void helps you be able to stop them from flipping that. As long as Leyline stays in the battlefield, they're not going to flip that Azcanta. So it's pretty good inclusion into the deck. And I feel like the 2 slots just weren't being taken by anything else, so Leyline's a pretty good spot for it. Or this is a pretty good spot for the 2 of them. So next we have Scapeshift. Like I said, Scapeshift sacrifice any number of lands. Search your library for up to that many land cards, put them on the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. It's pretty good, the simple fact that sacrificing those lands is not an additional cost. So in the past, there have been cards like Harrow, which are 1 green, I believe, and 2 colorless. As an additional cost, you need to sacrifice land, and then you find 2 lands to put into play. So you do get to ramp, or maybe it's you sacrifice 2 lands, you find 3. I'm not 100%, but it was an additional cost to cast that card. Scapeshift is only upon resolution, so you don't have to think about the fact that, oh, I'm paying 4 mana, and then I have to choose, do I sacrifice 8 lands, and then it gets countered, and I'm down 8 lands, and I've just lost the game. Since the card is that powerful, and you could auto lose for that reason, they worded it as the fact that it's just sacrifice any number of lands so it's upon resolution. Really good for that simple fact, but another thing to note is that they come into the battlefield tapped. So you can go find whatever lands you'd like. So you could find the Overgrown Tombs. When Overgrown Tomb enters the battlefield, you do have the choice to pay 2 life. The thing to note is if you do pay 2 life, it will still enter the battlefield tapped, because the card specifically words it that way. And that the Scapeshift as a card is what is making those cards enter the battlefield, not you playing them. So you don't get to play, pay 2 life. If you don't want to enter the battlefield, untapped. That's just not the case. So the next we have 2 Massacre Girls. I have not played with Massacre Girl yet. I have played against Massacre Girl a lot, though. Massacre Girl is very good at wiping the board and then leaving behind a 4/4 with Menace. So when you play it later in the game, It seems to get rid of every small creature in the way, sometimes quite a few larger creatures too, and then your opponent just kind of can't get back into playing multiple creatures a turn because maybe they only have 1 or 2 cards in hand, and then they can't block it. You're taking 4. They're on a real clock. So we're playing 3 Cabal Strongholds. So this adds 1 black for each basic swamp that we control. So we need to be at 5 basic swamps before this actually really does anything for us. Maybe it does the math. This is 3 plus tap it. If you have 4 basic swamps, you're going to tap 3 of them, tap this to add 4. Doesn't do you a whole lot because you're still at 5 lands total. So you need 5 basic swamps with Cabal Stronghold to actually make a difference, because in that case you'll tap 4 lands, but to add 5 mana to your mana pool. Okay, and then after that we have 14 swamps, 4 overgrown tombs, because we just want to splash a little bit of green, kind of make our opponents think that maybe we're playing Golgari. And then 1 Arch of Erasca, 1 Blast Zone, and 2 Field of Ruin, which the 3 of them, rather the Arch gets hit by a field. It's really bad for us. We want to draw cards late, but Crucible World allows us to bring this back. That also being said, Blast Zone acts as another piece of removal for those hard to deal with things. So sometimes you can't stick a creature in the battlefield, and you need it to be, you need to deal with it pretty well. So Blast Zone does that, and then as you can get it back with Crucible Worlds, then the Field of Ruin just being able to potentially hose your opponent. And if you happen to have a Dread Presence on the battlefield, thing to note is that you get to Field of Ruin away their land, go find a swamp of your own, maybe deal with something else, next turn Crucible of Worlds, and buy back the Field of Ruin and do it all over again. So you're not ramping yourself, but you're guaranteeing yourself a land drop if you're playing against a non-basic deck, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get into this, and we're gonna try and play this in a constructed event, just best of ones, because we don't have a sideboard yet. We haven't figured out what's going to be good, and I don't know if this is going to be any good in this, but I'm really hoping. I'm super excited for this. When I saw Dread Presence get spoiled, it was very interesting because I've always loved Valakut, and being able to play something that's similar to that is very, very, I would say, near and dear to me. So, okay, our opponent goes first. I think we keep this. We have basic Swamp Disfigure, and then we can play Field of Ruin as our second land, probably for Seeker Squire. We want to guarantee that we're hitting our land drops, so it's very interesting here. Our opponent's on a mulligan to 6. Overgrown Tomb. So I think we actually just play the Overgrown Tomb. The only reason this is because we're playing, it says so far Samir is probably against Esper. Yeah, here we go. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to Squire. Probably should have Knight of Malice, but yeah, we'll leave that in the library. We need to get another green, but we've got time. Esper's a bad matchup for us. So they have a whole lot of removal. So, and if they bounce the Seeker Squire, it's okay. Like, we just get to play. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's play Arch of Erasca. Should have probably played the Field of Ruin and just fielded away their white source. But I would assume that they, they have some sort of counter spell here. We'd have gone for the white source, still would have had double blue, wouldn't have mattered. So, let's see. Next turn. I'd rather that get countered than the Crucible of Worlds. Sure.
War is coming.
Creature or planeswalker you control costs 2 more.
Every day is a new lesson.
So notice it says spells that you cast. Let's go to my turn here, and so play field. Do we want? So we play the Dread Presence now. We're not guaranteed, but this actually guarantees us to get in. Yeah, and attack the Casmina down, which is really what we want to be doing here.
Oh, you
No double white, so they can't Kaya's Wrath yet? Now they can. Ooh, Ravenous Chupacabra, Murder Dog. Murder Dog. So do we Dread Presence here? I think we just Midnight Reaper. We can't actually disfigure because of that, which is fine. If we lose this, we're okay. I'd rather draw the card, I think, right now. Hopefully we draw a land. Really hope we draw land. Alright, so do we save the land for next turn? Yeah, I think we Dread Presence and save the land for next turn, so I'll just pass. Okay, so this kind of stinks because we have Dread Presence Scape Shift combo in our hand, and they're gonna probably take the Scape Shift. So I can't imagine that they would take the Crucible of Worlds, but we're just hoping. Yeah. Yeah, that's the right pick, opponent. That kind of stinks. So spells your opponent's cast target crash. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to Dread Presence here. We just want to get rid of the Casmina because we want to be able to disfigure whatever they play. Sure, got no choices. Like, it's gonna happen. So we cast Leyline, or do we cast? I think we cast Crucible here. Cast the Squire. Hope to hit a land. Graveyard Leyline of the Void. We don't need a second one. I doubt we're even playing it. I doubt our opponent's going to play anything back into it. So, okay. So, no. Oh, we're going to field away this. Find a swamp. That's a big deck. Play Field of Ruin. Do we want to play Leyline of Void? Do we want to play... I think we want to play Midnight Reaper. This also leaves a Disfigure to, like, potentially stop. So... That's a Guildgate. It's drawn Sabone. Ooh. Wow, they're, like... We're not doing much of anything right now, so we should try to keep them. Yeah, so we ascended. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So okay. Yeah, we'll just Leyline. There's no point in not, I guess. It appears that our opponent has quite a few basics. Okay, so... Drawing. Nope. Let's go ahead and do this. So we're gonna disfigure. Yep, we're gonna disfigure our own Reaper. They won't gain 2, and we'll draw a card. Yes. That is fine. Okay, so we're gonna play Cabal Stronghold. So note how I was saying earlier, you need 5 for Cabal Stronghold to be of any constellation. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll play this. And then we're just gonna waste Narset. Sure. She's digging.
I train every day. No one is more hone your prowess.
Alright, so they're gonna choose probably Chromatic Lantern to be making. Oh, Crucible of Worlds. Sure. I guess they're just tired of being like wasted out here. So play this land. Until we get this Narcissus off the battlefield, we can't actually do anything. So we'll draw a card on their turn. Zatalpa. We don't actually have a way to deal with a Zatalpa. Yeah. Let's draw a card. That's a Dread Presence. So when you play this Swamp. 2 damage. Gain a couple life.
My mind needs a rest.
Let's go for black. Let's draw a card here. Massacre Girl. No, we're not attacking here. So we're taking 8. So we have 2 Field of Ruins. So we could actually waste our Godless Shrine and get a Swamp. That actually helps. So, Disfigure here will actually stop it and make it 2. So I'm going to take 4 damage. So we want to do this. We're going to field their Godless Shrine. See, having Vigilance really stinks. Why you gotta do me like that? Alright, so we're not going to use the other field yet. We're just going to add black and draw an additional card. And draw another Dread Presence. So, do we expose? Yeah, we just expose the Dread Presence, I think. We don't have to worry about it. No attacks. So, if they go to kill the Dread Presence, like... Yeah. Alright, sacrifice this. Drown Catacomb or Submerged Boneyard. I think we just go for the Boneyard here. Do we want to draw a card or gain a life? Like, go find this. And then, I guess, how many Dread Presents have we? So, 1, 2, that's our 3rd Dread Presence. Do we just need to, like, yeah, we just need to ding them. Oi, 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 oi. Let's shrink you. Seeker Squire. Okay. Cabal Stronghold. Yep. can't draw another card. That really stinks. But Massacre Girl actually. So that's lethal if they can't kill something here. Because Zatalpa can't block Massacre Girl alone. So let's just go for this. And we'll try to draw an extra card here. We'll just play this. Gold Demise. Not sure that it much matters. Are we gonna sneak this out? No, of course they drew a seal away. Of course they did. And we're just dead. So they can't block the Massacre Girl. And we have no way to pump it. Of course they drew removal. Yeah. Yeah, okay, we're just dead. Because we take 8. We got him to 1. We got him to 1. Probably should have just attacked a turn earlier when we had 2 creatures. I have to go back and watch that because I'm not 100% sure that we could have. I'm not 100% sure that we had 2 that were not semi-sick. We need to change this Chandra Avatar. I didn't realize they reset our avatar. I probably said that last night too, so I'm sure somebody will point that out that I didn't realize it. Yeah, we keep this. So we have the Lantern, which turns on the Escape Shift as long as it doesn't get ripped out of our hand. We're playing against... Oh, potentially be Grixis of Mass here? I don't know. It does look like Grixis of Mass. So we'll leave a Seeker Squire. See what we can hit off this. We hit a land. Alright, so we're at 4. Sure. There's our Dread Presence. So we're gonna Lantern here. We do need to be wary of Nicol Bolas. This is not that deck.
If it's a challenge
Okay.
you want, then a challenge you'll get.
Alright, so we play a land. And again, here I told myself like, don't do this. You know, play your Dread Presence first before doing that. Here we have double Dread Presence. We didn't do it. Actually, wondering, so if we kill this thing... No, we're just playing Dread Presence. Who am I kidding? We're going for the combo, folks. So if the Dread Presence lives, do we be super greedy and Dread Presence then Scape Shift? I mean, theoretically next year we could Dread Presence and Swamp for Night of Malice. Yeah, so that stinks. Okay, so Dread Presence. Yeah, kill this thing. Night of Malice. out at here? If they do another Kesmina's transmutation, I'm gonna be super upset about that. Like, that is our win con here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, now they're just 1/1 chump blockers. So they lose all abilities here. Okay, so let's Chupacabra this guy. I don't like him having first strike. Sure, it's fine. Play this. Play this. This thing's annoying me. Yep.
Oh, innovation knows
That's
no
fine.
bounds. I will return.
So they probably have another replacement Saheeli? Would be my guess. No, they have a Chandra.
You want to go, tough guy?
Even worse. Okay.
This is just gonna be bad for you.
Man, I don't know if it's going to be bad for me. They actually just scoop it up. So their board presence is pretty good there. So we are, I mean, we do have a 10/10 DreadShift. It doesn't have trample, but it is definitely something to think about, I guess. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. Like, we're going to try to tweak this to play this. So we're probably going to play this for F&M. I am super excited, although not seeing it here. Like, I'm excited to see what this card can do, what this combo can actually come up with. Yeah, I like this hand. So we have a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 drop. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how long we'll be playing it for. There are quite a few cards that I would like to try out. So Knight of Malice, another thing to note here. Hexproof from white. We drew a couple of them, so it's pretty good. Yep, you get your Law Rune Enforcers and your Healer's Hawk. That's fine. Healer's Hawk's kind of a problem. If we get to 5 Massacre Girl, we'll just deal with that. Like, they'll deal with the Massacre Girl. We'll deal with a whole board, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, we need to be at 5 right now, though, because Pride Mate's a problem. Okay, so play Knight of Malice. You can't tap my guy. Turns out he has Hexproof. No attacks here. The Pride Mate's gonna sit back. It can't attack because these both have first strike. If they miss that, then we're gonna be Gucci. Okay, so what do we want to play here? I'm going to play Cabal Stronghold with Dread Presence. And then no attacks. Next turn, play this, kill the stinking Hawk. And as long as they don't have any other sort of, like, buff effect, then that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, it's fine. So we can deal with this. So, you. Yeah, I guess we'll pay 2 here because we're gonna kill this thing. Gain it back. And then we can play this. And we can play this. And not attack. So, yup, you got some big kitty cats. I'll give you that. Okay. I'm probably taking a bunch here. So, all of these hit the back. So if this blocks, these 2 block here. And then... Ugh. Minute Reaper blocks here. This doesn't block anything. Dread Presence. Like, I can't actually wipe the board with Massacre Girl. This is very frustrating. Unless I draw... So that way it's like 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Lose this, take 14. So that actually can't happen. So Dread Presence gets chucked on the bus. Well, if Dread Presence is going to the bus, it's going to actually go into the bus underneath the Banalish Marshal. So, yeah, I think it's right. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So we'll take go to 3. I'll go to 5. I missed something there. Oh, no, yeah, go to 3. Okay. Oh, and we had the win, too. Ugh. That is horrible. I hate to see that. We had the win. If we wouldn't have blocked the Dread Presence, we would have blocked the Knight of Malices. We'd have been okay. Yeah, so no blocks. We lose. Oh, play to your outs, right? What are your outs? Outs or Scape Shift. Maybe we don't win. I think we would have been far enough ahead that, like, if we draw the double Scape Shift there, we'd have been okay. We should have sacrificed one of the knights. Should have done methods for blockers, right? So we're on the block. Okay. Now this is very awkward. The two colorlesses. We're only playing 4. We go first though. So I think we're just gonna play Overgrown Tune tapped. There's no reason to play it untapped. We can kill whatever we need to on their turn the next time around here. Yeah, we're just gonna bolt the bird. Like, that's just gonna happen. You always bolt the bird. Always. And we were doing anything at 2 anyway, so that's virtually the same thing. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Let's play this lantern. So let's hope they don't go into something ridiculous yet. Risen Reef. So this is potentially, yep. So this is the zombies deck. Probably should have saved the Massacre Girl for the turn that they make all the zombies. But if they have the stamina, there's like nothing we can do about that. We should draw the other Massacre Girl. We just really needed like the reef to not be. Yeah.
I can no longer stand by and watch.
So I watched this deck play out last night. It's actually really good. Okay, so Chupacabra. Like, we have no choice here. Save the Massacre Girl. For the turn that they actually.
This up as I go.
Ooh. So lantern. Yep. Chupacabra. Kill this thing. Eats 2 damage there.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
So we have to beat them to like 8, I think is what it is, or something stinking dumb like that. Yeah. So if we just saved the Massacre Girl, they'd have had the Lina World from the Risen Reef, which would have been okay. Because then we just trigger down the line and not have to worry about it. But so if we had a land here, We're just gonna go ahead and field this thing now. Get a swamp. Yeah, like I just much rather have them making fewer. No attacks here. I mean, I guess there should be some reasons like you don't go get like you don't actually activate that yet, but it's fine. So they're gonna play Golos. Try to hit escape shift. Sacrifice all their lands. Yada yada yada.
We will not fail.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We sacrifice 5 lands. We need another land.
Behold, nature's
That's
true
fine. So they can escape shift here. We need at least another land. Oh, Teferi. Okay.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
Teferi Bouncer at presence. Yep.
It was nothing.
Yep. They're just trying to buy time now, I think it is, to get to the escape shift. Golos. They're making a bunch of dudes. That's okay. Yeah. Blocking's fairly irrelevant here. Midnight Reaper. We really need to draw. We need to draw land. Bad. Okay, so let's play Midnight Reaper. Play Dread Presence. And we're tagging Teferi because if they trade off, one of their zombies, they can block it. That's fine. I don't really care about that.
I suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
Oh, okay. They didn't want me drawing a card, so that's fine. I'm okay with that as well. Like if we draw a card, okay. So. I guess now, like, they need to find a way. Like, if they have the salmon, if they escape shift and have the salmon in hand. Whoa, what does Omnath do? Target you a number of elementals you control. Okay. This is, yep, dealing 2. We're gonna draw a card. Knight of Malice. Yep, get a stomping ground. Make a dude. Yep. So, Feel the Dead, make a dude, attack me for a bunch here, right? If escape shift me, I'm okay with that. Yep. That's not escape shift, though. So, sure. Yep. Nice.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Sniper, but above tap jump. Didn't realize she made elementals. Not gonna lie, didn't realize she made elementals. That's very awkward. So yeah, they got a pretty cool. It's a little bit different build than what I saw last night, but Omnath is pretty sweet. Bant elementals here. Yup. So, the thing they didn't realize, like, they needed to put a counter on Risen Reef. So, can we... So 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 3. She kills us next turn. We need to block this. It's like Nissa would just kill us next turn with the untap land if we took all the damage there. I don't know if we can win here or not. I don't think we can. But we most certainly... Scape shift me. Come on. Yes. Get everything out of your hand. That's okay. Find a bunch of lands. Don't put... Yeah, I mean, like... That's okay. I am alright with that. Like, you draw some cards, whatever. Just trying to get everything outside of Massacre Girl range. Make a bunch of zombies. You got it. You got it. Slam this. It's chain reaction, homie. Yup. That's 1,001 triggers. Yes, nice is right. I don't know how many it was. It was like 20 or something like that. 30. There was a lot of creatures. We just killed a lot of stuff. And remember that we played the Massacre Girl earlier that game and thought that we should have kept it. So they played the one toughness creature that actually dealt with that. And then, to allow us to do that. Because if there's not a one toughness creature on the battlefield, we actually can't chain reaction off like that. Because all the 2/2s. So if they hadn't played the Paradise Druids, I feel like they got super greedy. Yeah. So they get to go off again. That's fine. Like, there's nothing we can do about this. They have the Field of the Deads. They're at 12 cards. And there's not really another... Like, there's nothing else that we can do. Just gonna turn... Yep. Turn land into a 3/3. Play on over Elf. If we draw a Massacre Girl right now, we're golden. So, Massacre Girl off the top. Let's go. One time, Massacre Girl. That is the Leyline of the Void. That does not do it. So, let's see if it was there. Nope. So we're just dead. They got 6 2/2s and a couple 5/6s. There's nothing we can do about that. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. But a fun deck nonetheless to play with. So 1/3, which is where I expect to be at with at F&M. So we may change a couple of things up here. We got some cards to play with, some things to toy with, and not 100% sure where we want to be yet. So let's go. Of course, to 2020. Of course, we don't have everything, but there's definitely some cards that I considered that I could think could play into this. So like things like Legion's End could be pretty good. We are playing mono black, so we could easily take out like 2 ley lines and put in like Cavalier of Night. It's a 5-drop, so it's a little bit higher than where I'd like to be, but it's just because we're playing the Massacre Girls up there. So I'm not 100% sure. Like, it's got green here. We're not playing green. Let's face it. So we'll see. We also play as White Beetle. That wouldn't be horrible. Just stops a bunch of other stuff. We also play some Duresses. So there you have it. There it is. There's first iteration of the deck. Hopefully we'll be playing it at F&M, and we can tweak it a little bit and do a couple more things with it that actually make it a little bit more fun, have a little bit more consistency out of it. But hope you like it, and I hope you stuck around to the end. See us go 1-3, even though like our one win was off of a concession. But It was okay. I like decks like this. They have a lot of flair, I guess, if you will. And I believe the new nickname that Matt started giving me is Jankmaster Flex. And I think that there's going to be a nameplate when we play at F&M. He just thought the name stuck because I like to play Jank, and I guess, I don't know. He came up with it. You can ask him all about it. You can go over to his page and ask him why the name stuck. So, hope you liked it. Remember to check out Liberty Coins MTG. So you can check us play some Paper Magic. Hopefully see this here in a week or two. And until next time, I hope you watched, or hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you later.